Welcome to a world of mythology and history, a crazy epics fueled by the imagination from which we can learn so much. I am Analo Amante Lobrino. Come with me on a journey we call the Odyssey and Aeneas. What are you waiting for? Stay with me and I'll bring you to the world of Odysseus. The Odysseus is attributed to the ancient Greek poet Homer. The style of the Odysseus is characterized by its use of epic convention, including grand language, heroic ideas, divine intervention, and a focus on the journey and trials of hero Odysseus. Homer's writing is known for its vivid imagery, rich storytelling, and the use of poetic devices such as similes and metaphors. The main themes of this Odyssey are the heroism, hospitality, revenge and justice, fate and destiny, homecoming and loyal, and of course, perseverance and resilience. The conflict of the story was man versus God, man versus himself, and man versus society. Moving on, let us now know and see the different characters and the summary of the story. Odyssey, the protagonist, known for his cunning, intelligence, and bravery, is determined to return to his homeland of Ithaca and his wife, Penelope, despite facing numerous challenges. Penelope, Odysseus' faithful wife, who remains loyal to him despite many suitors vying for her hand in marriage during his absence. She is portrayed as clever and resourceful. Telemachus, Odysseus' son, who embarks on a journey to find news of his father's fate. He undergoes significant growth throughout the story, evolving from a hesitant youth into a more assertive young man. Athena, the goddess of wisdom and warfare, who often intervenes on behalf of Odysseus and his family. She guides and protects him throughout his journey. Poseidon, the god of the sea, who holds a grudge against Odysseus for blinding his son. The Cyclops, Polyphemus, Poseidon's anger results in many obstacles for Odysseus on his voyage home. Circe and Calypso, enchantresses who both detain Odysseus on his journey, offering him temporary comfort but also presenting challenges to his ultimate goal of returning home. The suitors, arrogant men who seek Penelope's hand in marriage and overrun Odysseus' palace in his absence. They present greed, disrespect, and the erosion of hospitality. Eumaeus and Euryclea, loyal servants in Odysseus' household who assist him upon his return to Ithaca. They represent faithfulness and the bonds of loyalty. The Trojan War. The epic begins with the end of the Trojan War, during which Odysseus plays a crucial role in devising the strategy of the Trojan horse, leading to the downfall of Troy. Odysseus' journey begins. Odysseus sets sail for home, but his journey is fraught with peril. He and his crew face challenges such as lotus eaters and the Cyclops Polyphemus and the witch Circe. The visit to the underworld. Odysseus consults the blind prophet Tiresias in the land of the dead, seeking guidance on how to return home. He encounters the spirits of various deceased figures, including his mother. The Sirens and Scalia and Charybdis. Odysseus must navigate past and deadly sirens, whose enchanting songs lure sailors to the doom, and the monstrous sea creatures Scalia and Charybdis. The return to Ithaca. After 10 years of wandering, Odysseus finally returns to his homeland of Ithaca.
Disguised as a beggar, he reunites with his son Telemachus and plots to reclaim his kingdom from the suitors who have overrun his palace. The Test of the Bow. Odysseus, still in disguise, participates in a contest to win back Penelope's hand in marriage. He successfully strings the bow of Odysseus and proves his identity by shooting an arrow through a series of axe heads. The Slaying of the Suitors. With the help of Telemachus and a few loyal servants, Odysseus massacres the suitors who have been vying for Penelope's hand and pillaging his household. And finally, going down to the reunion with Penelope, Odysseus finally reveals himself to Penelope, proving his identity with intimate knowledge of their marriage bed. They are joyfully reunited after years of separation. The Odyssey is primarily narrated from a third-person omniscient point of view.
Oops! Are you still there? Of course! You are still there! After we discover the story of Odysseus, join with me again to know the adventure of Aeneas in the story of Aeneas! You know that Aeneas explores several themes, including destiny, duty, piety, and founding of Rome. The conflict of the story refers to the struggle between opposing forces or ideas in a story, internal conflict and external conflict. The setting of the story is in Troy to Italy rather. And now, let us know the different characters, background of the story, and the events as we go on to the summary of the story.
Aeneas, the protagonist and hero of the epic. Aeneas is a Trojan prince who flees the burning city of Troy after its defeat in the Trojan War. He is portrayed as a noble and virtuous leader, guided by a sense of duty and destiny. Aeneas is destined to found the Roman race, and his journey to Italy is marked by trials and hardships. Dido, the Queen of Carthage. Dido plays a significant role in Aeneas' journey when he lands on the shores of North Africa. She falls deeply in love with him, but their romance ultimately ends in tragedy when Aeneas is compelled to fulfill his destiny and continue his quest to found Rome. Dido is depicted as passionate and tragic, driven to despair by her unrequited love for Aeneas. Anchises, Aeneas' father, who appears to him in a vision and guides him in fulfilling his destiny. Anchises imparts wisdom and knowledge about the future of Rome, and the heroes who will shape its destiny. He represents the ancestral heritage and divine lineage of Aeneas. Turnus, the leader of the Rutulians and Aeneas' primary antagonist in Italy. Turnus is depicted as a fierce warrior and a proud defender of his homeland. His conflict with Aeneas represents the clash between the Trojan refugees and the native Italian tribes. Juno, the queen of the gods and a constant antagonist of Aeneas due to her hatred of the Trojans. Juno seeks to thwart Aeneas' destiny and prevent the founding of Rome out of resentment for the role that the Trojans played in the Trojan War. Venus, the goddess of love and Aeneas' mother, who frequently intervenes on his behalf and aids him in his journey. Venus is depicted as a protective and nurturing figure, devoted to ensuring her son's success in fulfilling his destiny. Jupiter, the king of the gods, who ultimately determines the fate of Aeneas and the destiny of Rome. Jupiter serves as a symbol of divine authority and order, orchestrating events to ensure that Aeneas fulfills his ordained role in history. The fall of Troy. The epic begins with the fall of Troy to the Greeks, marking the end of the Trojan War. Aeneas, a Trojan prince, escapes the city with his father, son, and a small band of followers. The journey to Carthage. Aeneas and his companions embark on a perilous journey across the Mediterranean Sea, encountering storms and other dangers. They eventually arrive in Carthage, where they are welcomed by Queen Dido. The romance with Dido. Aeneas and Dido fall deeply in love, but their romance is short-lived. Aeneas is reminded of his destiny to found a new city in Italy, and he reluctantly leaves Carthage, causing Dido to despair and ultimately take her own life. The descent into the underworld. Aeneas journeys to the underworld at the behest of the Sibyl of Cumae to seek guidance from his father, Aeneas, and to learn about the future of Rome. In the underworld, he encounters the spirits of various heroes and learns of the great leaders who descend from his lineage. The war in Italy. Aeneas arrives in Italy and allies himself with King Latinus, but he faces opposition from Turnus, the leader of the native Rhetorians. The epic culminates in a fierce war between Aeneas' Trojan followers and the Italian tribes, with Aeneas ultimately emerging victorious. The duel between Aeneas and Turnus. The climax of the epic occurs when Aeneas and Turnus engage in a one-on-one duel to determine the outcome of the war. Aeneas emerges triumphant, slaying Turnus and securing the future of Rome. The founding of Rome. With the war won, Aeneas fulfills his destiny by founding the city of Rome. The epic ends with a vision of the future glory of Rome and the promise of its enduring greatness. The Aeneid is primarily narrated from a third-person omniscient point of view.
Are you all happy and enjoyed watching the two stories? Well, I hope so. So finally, let us go on to the moral lesson that we can gain from the two stories. The stories reveals moral lessons of bravery, heroism, pride, and honor relevant to the Greeks and their culture. So, that's the end of my presentation. I hope you gain a lot of lesson from the stories. Again, I am Ana Lo Amante Lobrino, your teacher for today.